I hope you get raped. I will literally beat your fucking head in, bitch. Get back, fucking, you should be euthanized.
This ends in 3, 2...
Welcome everyone, we're here at Ignite Gaming Lounge. I'm Natalie Casanova, also known as Zombie Unicorn. I'm a Twitch streamer and longtime gamer, having worked in the industry for over 6 years. I'm really excited to be here today for the first ever Bully Hunters Live. This issue is a serious one, and it's really near and dear to my heart. Making gaming a more safe and special place for everyone, a more welcoming place for all. Female gamers have experienced harassment, sex taunts, or threats in-game. Millions of gamers, female gamers and gamers alike, have experienced trying to hide their gender online to just avoid targeted harassment. And 36% of female gamers have literally stopped playing a game or stopped playing games altogether because of this. This ends now. You can find all the sources for these statistics on bullyhunters.org. Now, I'm going to explain to you what we're doing today and who's involved. Basically, we're introducing a new tool that's going to be available globally to help end in-game harassment by connecting victims of in-game harassment with skilled gamers who want to help in real time. Over here, we have our casual gamers. These gamers represent you and I. They're just doing what they love to do. They're right now playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, otherwise known as CSGO. They're playing in various game servers all across the internet. And now, over here, we have some completely different gamers, not connected into the casual gamers whatsoever in any way. These are the Bully Hunters. They're pro elite gamers who would like to use their skills in gaming to help in-game harassment, end in-game harassment, and make it a more respectable, welcoming place for everyone. So, how does this all work? First, let me introduce you to my co-host, our co-host, Tien Tran. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Tien Tran. I too love gaming, but I am not involved in the gaming industry in any way. I represent the everyday casual gamer, and I'm going to help make some of today's show a little easier to understand for the non-gaming viewer. Here's a top-level explanation for what may happen. While our casual gamers are playing, they may experience harassment. When that happens, we'll be alerted. They'll also call on a bully hunter. A bully hunter will jump into their game and take on harassment head on. They'll hunt down and take out the perpetrator. You heard that correctly. Bully hunters will get these harassers where it hurts them the most, by beating bullies at their own game. Will it happen tonight while you are watching? We don't know, but odds are yes. Okay, we are looking at the play from our casual gamer, the Rose Thorn. Let's watch what happens. Take a look. This is a type of harassment that over 21 million female gamers have experienced. It was at this moment when we saw that it was not just trash talking, it was straight up harassment. So that's when the Rose Thorn, our casual gamer, decided to call on one of our bully hunters. What the Rose Thorn did in this case was use our new tool on her mobile device. We'll show you later how our tool works. But let's see what happens now. So the bully hunter has now been alerted and should be joining the game soon. Okay, pause right there. Now zoom in to the bottom left corner. It says our bully hunter has just entered the game. See, bully hunter 77 has joined the game. Now our victim, the Rose Thorn, and our bully hunter can communicate with one another. Let's take a look at how that plays out. Now let's zoom out and roll the footage, please. And there it is. Pause right there again, please. Now, our bully hunter has asked the Rose Thorn live in-game who is harassing her. And our victim then immediately replied. Let's zoom in again on the bottom left-hand corner. Now, you see there, the tool connected these two, a victim with a bully hunter. Okay, so now Bully Hunter 77 knows the name of the harasser, and she is ready to take action. Now we are going to switch over to Bully Hunter 77's screen to watch the hunt. Cut to that feed, please, and play it. So we are watching our Bully Hunter. She knows who the harasser is, and she is on the hunt. You can still hear the harassment in the background. It doesn't stop. So now Bully Hunter 77 is looking for the harasser. And it looks like she's going to use her knife, folks. And there it is, just pause right there. Let's back up and see that again. A brilliant knife move, very difficult. And look right there, see in the lower left-hand corner, let's pause that and zoom into that. Our bully hunter left the calling card message to the harasser. Harassment is not a game. bullyhunters.org. Now that's what this is all about, removing harassment from gaming. Bully Hunter. And you can find the tool at bullyhunters.org. And again, it's a tool available to everyone around the globe that we provide as a group of pro gamers. SteelSeries, Vertigear, Now, CyberPower PC, and Diverse Gaming Coalition, to name just a few. This tool connects victims of harassment with highly skilled gamers in real time, whether you're male or female. We are looking for people who want to fight against injustice and harassment. Now let's take a look at the website right now and explain exactly how it works. Load the website, please. Now, as you can see on bullyhunters.org, you can call a bully hunter or become a bully hunter. The Rose Thorn, our casual gamer in the hunt you just witnessed, used the mobile version of this website and tapped Call a Bully Hunter. Now let's use a situation between the Rose Thorn and Bully Hunter 77 to explain to everyone how the tool works. Now let's see that. So what the Rose Thorn had done was gone to our website and select Call a Bully Hunter. As you can see, there is an army of bully hunters who have unique names and ratings. She then logged on through her Steam account, and we'll switch to that right now. And once she was done, it took her to a screen where she could select Locate a Hunter. She was then matched with Bully Hunter 77, who added her on Steam. You see, it says Bully Hunter 77 will send you a friend invite. This screen then reminded her to invite the Bully Hunter to the game. And after the hunt, she could add a rating based on her experience. Because along with becoming a bully hunter comes the responsibility of acting appropriately. And that's what this does. It's our tool to become a bully hunter and help the Rose Thorn. And this is for all of you watching, all the gamers with some skill, all of you that think harassment is not okay, just as we think it's not okay. Here is what you can do. Now let's see that. So what Bully Hunter 77 did was click Become a Bully Hunter. Then she logged in with her Steam account. The Bully Hunters tool will qualify you according to your kill ratio, hours played, and reports within CSGO. But don't think this means you need to be a pro. If you game, whether you are pro or casual, male or female, there's a place for you. So if you qualify, you will be asked to accept the Bully Hunters Code of Conduct, which ensures that every gamer understands the responsibility that comes with becoming a bully hunter. In this example, she decided to accept the code of conduct and was immediately given a new identity, Bully Hunter 77. At this point, bully hunters can officially be called upon at any time. All Bully Hunter 77 did was add the Rose Thorn on Steam and then accept her invite to join the game. Once the hunt is complete, a bully hunter can verify whether the hunt was completed and whether the request was valid. This ensures that people don't take advantage of this powerful bully hunter tool.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us now, this is the first Bully Hunters Live. This is a big issue. To tell us more, we have two guests here, Kevin Lanham and Dr. Alexandra Solomon. Kevin Lanham is a licensed clinical professional counselor who specializes in working with gamers. He's a graduate of Northwestern University and has a thriving clinical practice in Chicago. And Dr. Alexandra Solomon is a professor in the Department of Psychology at Northwestern University, a licensed clinical psychologist at the Family Institute at Northwestern University, and the author of Loving Bravely, 20 Lessons of Self-Discovery to Help You Get the Love You Want. Thank you both for joining us here at this live event. Real quick, as they're giving us more insight about this issue, we invite every one of you watching online
So much for having Dr. Solomon
yeah, of course.
and me here. I mean, this is an important issue, and all gamers know about this, but so many people who don't game have no idea. It's the targeted, repeated bullying of female gamers. It creates a hostile online environment for women where they don't want to game, they're discouraged from becoming gamers, and most importantly, it has an impact on them offline. The thing is that gamers put so much into their online community. They invest their time, their energy, and even though the game is virtual, the interactions are totally real. You're talking with a real person. And just like your real life interactions, when they're positive, when they help you gain confidence, you take that with you offline. But when you're subjected to harassment, to abusive language, you feel insecure, you lose confidence, and you take that with you into your other relationships as well. And that's why we're trying to end this today.
Yeah, and the thing we know, whether it's online or face-to-face sexual harassment, is the impact on the person who's being harassed is that sense of diminishment, feeling less than, and that flood of shame and fear and terror, quite frankly. And so what we're doing tonight, what this initiative is all about, is figuring out how can we work together, men and women both, working together to move from a culture of harassment to a culture of inclusion, where really the intention of being in a gaming world is that like sort of the thrill of competition and that experience of mastery and getting better than you were the day before and creating a community. And so we really need to bring this from the shadows into the center of the room and really call it what it is and figure out how do we work together to move from a culture of harassment to a culture of inclusion.
It's really interesting. I love hearing you guys talk about it. It's amazing. What can you guys tell us about why sexism and harassment persists in the gaming world?
Well, harassment happens everywhere, and right now more and more women are actually coming forward, which is a huge change. But there are some things that make the online environment different. First, gamers keep their identity hidden, right? People also, you don't get feedback from the person that you're harassing. If I were to say something horrible to you, I would see your face and I would feel terrible, right? Empathy is more difficult online for that reason. You know, second, women are often viewed as sexual objects online. I mean, games are really catering towards men's fantasies of being dominant, in control, and it's not really taking in the female perspective. And when the game is really playing up these ideas, it also flows into the communication between gamers and these female gamers.
Well, and building off that, you know, none of this happens in a bubble, right? So we live and have lived for thousands of years in a patriarchal culture, which means we've had spaces that have been able to be male-dominated spaces where men have set the terms and created the community. And that's what the online gaming world has been. And so what you see with the movement and the bringing in of female gamers is the same kind of pushback that other communities have experienced. You know, you think about politics or sports or the fields of science and math. Those female trailblazers have faced that pushback. And what we're seeing is just the online manifestation of what happens when you take something old and transform it into something new. And that's what's happening now, is there's a sea change that really ultimately benefits everybody. We know that when there's more diversity in our lives, when we have community with people who are different from us in terms of age, gender, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, all of that diversity brings with it different kinds of skill sets, strategic approaches. There's benefits and wisdom from all of those differences. And the problem is, in a patriarchy, it ends up feeling like this. Like if I give up my power, if I open up my space, I lose something. But the neat thing is, inclusion is not pie, right? It's not like more for you means less for me. It's not how it works.
So do you think this?
The research on sort of what we do as a culture around how we raise our boys, the messages start very early and they're very powerful. By age 3, parents are touching their boys less, making less eye contact with them, and really training and indoctrinating them that tender feelings, that emotion, that empathy equals weakness. So I think about my daughter came home from school as a 2nd grader, and in gym class she had scored a goal, and the goalie was a boy. And she heard a teammate say to the boy, "Dude, you just got scored on by a girl." And she came home and told me the story, and she was confused. Like, she knew something didn't feel right. She was sort of the butt of a joke of some kind, but in her mind, it didn't add up. Like, she was an athlete, she knew her stuff, she scored. And so it was kind of that early lesson, and really powerful for me as a mom to see that by age 7, boys are taught to fear losing, and they're taught especially to fear losing to a girl. And so when that's been the conditioning again and again and again of don't be like a girl, don't cry, don't show weakness, it's no surprise that the response to balance that out is rage, intimidation, and misuse of power.
As we understand, this is having an impact on women in multiple ways, including outside of gaming. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I think it really fits with this cultural moment that we're in, with the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement, that we are at this really important moment of time, really a sea change, where we're saying that where women, victims, marginalized communities of all kind, are saying no more. No more suffering in silence. No more buying the story that I have to be isolated, silent, ashamed of myself. And so as victims and marginalized communities come forward and say, this is the truth, this is my experience, it invites those with power, here, men, to partner, to become allies, to become advocates, to really show powerful leadership, which is calling other men forward and saying, we can do this better, we have to do this better.
Yeah. Mr. Lanham, how do you think men, like male gamers, can get involved in ending this kind of behavior?
Well, clearly it is great seeing these elite female gamers come together today. Like, they are awesome, right? But I think men also have an opportunity to step up in this change. You know, part of what Dr. Also, you know, when we're in this movement, we want to invite men into this process, right? Not all men are the harassers. Right? There's men that stay silent, men that join in, and really it takes men challenging and calling out other men when they're seeing harassment. Like, hey dude, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? One of the things that is, you know, I think what a lot of guys are like really worried about are people telling them what to say. And this isn't about being word police or keeping everything PC. It's like challenging your ideas of like, why would you want to hurt other people? Why would you want to create this environment where women don't want to be here? Actually, there's a lot more back and forth that can happen when we're all gaming together.
Yeah.
And the research is clear that these kinds of traditional toxic masculinity hurts men. So there's a study of 20,000 men that found that the degree to which the more men subscribed to those traditional notions of I have to win at all costs, I have to treat women as sexual objects, the more they endorsed those beliefs, the worse their mental health was. So it becomes this vicious cycle where the more this is the behavior, the worse it becomes for the self, and the self becomes depressed and anxious and isolated. And so it's as bad for the bully. Well, maybe not as bad, but there's impact on the bully as well as on the victim.
I definitely can see that a lot of people who do this kind of harassment may have their own issues to deal with that they aren't, you know, letting out in a healthy way.
And deserve to have care around those issues, deserve to address those issues directly rather than it coming out sideways in this kind of behavior.
And it takes real strength to be able to take a different stance. Like, when you poke your head out, I mean, like you've been doing, like, that's when the hammers come, right? But I think there's different ways to relate besides just hammer and nail. Like men can show a lot of power by taking responsibility for their actions, right? For actually caring for other people, by trying to protect rather than harming. Like there's actually a lot of opportunity for men to take a different stance online.
Yeah. Let's
Part of it is that trash talk is really about like the thrill of the game. The trash talk is about I'm elevating myself and improving my game, but not at the expense of you. So it's bringing myself up without, conversely, putting you down. So that's one of the elements of it.
Oh, Mr. Lane, I'm Dr. Solomon. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but there is something we need to show the audience right now. In just a second here, the lights have come down, and that is a signal for a bully hunt. Now let's see exactly how a bully hunt works. This is our casual gamer, Pinklight23, who has been harassed in-game. That's her, but let's cut to her feed. So we can see right now that we're in Pinklight23's game. She's doing what she loves, playing CSGO.
You want to get raped, bitch? I know where you live. I can't handle how big her tits are. You want me to rape you?
Now, that's exactly the toxic behavior we're fighting against here. Now, let's see how she used our global tool to call a bully hunter. Play that, please. So Pinklight23 is in-game. What she's going to do is call a bully hunter with our tool. She's doing it right now. She just logged onto our site, logged in with her Steam account, and is now locating a bully hunter. Now, let's see which bully hunter was called. So Pinklight23 called the bully hunter. Now let's go back to her game and see how that plays out. Cut to that, please. Now we have Pinklight23's game here. And if you look in the bottom, and she's going to ask our Pinklight23 to name the harasser. There it is. And now we know the harasser and the hunt is on. Now let's see it from bully hunter. 23 over there in the game, and Bully Hunter 03 is moving fast. Oh, and there's a kill and a double kill done excellently. And now we have the calling card here for Bully Hunter in the bottom corner. Bully Hunter harassment is not a game. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the first Bully Hunters Live. We've just seen a bully hunt, and we're going to take a minute to talk to our casual gamer, Pinklight23, about her experience. Now, follow me. Sorry to interrupt you there. What's your name?
My name is Gretchen.
Gretchen, thank you so much for joining us. Now, it was very hard to watch that harassment. As a female gamer, do you experience a lot of in-game harassment?
Oh, absolutely.
And what kind of forms does that take?
Anywhere from in-game trash talk, which can be normal, but sometimes it gets pretty sexual and sounds pretty dangerous when they start threatening you, and then the DMs start coming. So that starts getting pretty scary.
Right, so that sort of like violent language that's being used, how does that affect you as a gamer?
Sometimes in-game, when it's trash talk, it's not a big deal, but when it starts feeling more personal, getting into DMs, and you start getting threats like they're going to come find you, or they know where you are, some of that stuff is trash talk, but it gets pretty scary when they start harassing you nonstop, and those DMs won't stop coming.
Right, and do you feel like that kind of dissuades you from continuing to play?
There are times where it gets pretty tough, and you just want to take a break.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. It's very brave of you to be here today. Back to you, Natalie.
All right, well, thank you for your patience. If you've just tuned in, we're talking to Kevin Lanham and Dr. Alexandra Solomon. You were talking about harassment in gaming, and you're about to answer one of our Facebook comments. It was about how to differentiate trash talk from harassment.
Yeah, well, the first point I was thinking about is it's about the intention. So the intention of trash talk is really just kind of elevating my play, but not at the expense of you. So the intention is to kind of bring myself more intentionally into the game, be more competitive, like bring my edge up, but not at the expense of bringing you down. Where the intention of harassment really is to kind of make the other person, the person at the receiving end of it, feel diminished, feel less than, and I feel more powerful at your expense. So that's one distinction. Another distinction I think is helpful is sort of a being versus doing distinction. So sexual orientation, gender, race, all of that. It's really about who you are as a person and diminishing you as a person. And you can't, there's nothing we can change about who we are. We can sort of use the competitive environment to sort of push ourselves forward, but harassment really makes the person on the receiving end feel less than and inferior. And the problem, as Kevin was saying earlier about the online community, is you don't have that feedback loop the way that you would when you were playing side by side, and I could cue to you, like, dude, like that was a bit too much, like tone it down, which is why what's happening tonight is so important. It's we're providing that feedback loop in the online world.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Mr. Lanham and Dr. Solomon, we really appreciate it. And now back to Tien.
Thanks.
As of now, our new global tool works on CSGO, which is used by 25 million gamers. CSGO is just a start with this tool. But for gamers experiencing harassment in any game, there's a Bully Hunter field guide. Now, this will help every gamer fight against sexual harassment in gaming. And you will find a field guide with every special edition headset. You can also download it at bullyhunters.org. Now, let's see what it looks like inside. Now, in this field guide, you will understand the difference between trash talk and harassment, and you'll learn how to deal with it. Natalie?
All right. Now we have with us Paloma Delgado of the National Organization for Women, or NOW. Paloma, please join me. This is the field guide, by the way. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of interesting stuff in here. Hi, Paloma. So, while you get settled here, I just want to ask you, this initiative resonates with a lot of other larger cultural movements happening around the world right now. So can you tell us a little bit more about those and why this might be important for them?
Absolutely. First of all, we need to acknowledge the fact that none of us exist in a bubble. We're a part of and affected by cultural movements, even if we're not specifically a part of that group. In this case, we want to create a cultural movement that tells women that the harassment they face online and offline is completely unacceptable. As activists, and more importantly, as people who just care about half of the population, choose respect over hostility, and that's the way these things get solved.
Yeah, that's true. So what you're saying is that harassment in gaming affects women outside of gaming as well.
Definitely. So the thing is that, again, none of us exist in a bubble, right? Even if you're not a gamer, think about it this way. There are still spaces that exist in which harassment is not just accepted, it's the norm. This is what women have to go through all the time. I find it extremely disturbing that this is the sort of behavior that people expect all the time when they log into their computers. And the bottom line is that we're not going to have full equality until women are treated equally in their professional lives, their personal lives, and their online lives.
Yeah. And it's not about any special treatment, it's just about being treated equally.
That's all we're asking for.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Paloma. We really appreciate it. And that's right, guys. This is a really important message, and anyone can show support by sharing the campaign, changing their profile picture, getting the message out there that harassment in gaming is just not okay. And the more we can raise for the awareness of the problem, the larger impact we can have.
Now, it's been an amazing day today, and we've launched our global tool, which fought bullies and in-game harassment. Here are some bully hunt highlights from today. Cue highlights, please.
Hey, bitch, I know where you live. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna rape you. You stupid gamer whore bitch.
Now, before we wrap up, let's see what people were saying on Facebook and Twitch. Okay.
So this question is, why is this is kind of like focused on women's harassment? And in today's sexual harassment is rampant for women, in gaming especially. So it's something that needs to be
Other harassers through gameplay, and will eliminate them from the game using their skills and talent, not harassment. Now, we've done so much today, but the fight isn't over.
Yeah. Please go to bullyhunters.org, use our global tool, become a hunter, call a hunter, show your support, by sharing our message, just stand up for what's right here. Together we can really make an impact and end in-game harassment. So thank you for watching.